welcome back. I am using a different mic today because actually my mic has been giving me so much trouble and it has been a problem for so long. I could have it recording at either a 20 decibel boost or nothing, and my choice was between not being able to be heard or getting tons of static and hissing and all this crud that I had to filter out. I'm using my wife's headset today, which costs about, I'd say about half what mine did, and the recording sound seems to be so much better. It is so, I don't want to say annoying, but yeah, pretty much it's annoying. And this is nice, but she can't use it anyway right now because unfortunately her laptop is not actually recording sound properly right now. So I have not yet had a chance to figure that out. Let's take a little nap here real quick. I don't mind fighting things, but I don't like to deal with that when I'm trying to actually show you something. So I actually, while I'm here, Cuber, the guy that is running the server, he needed some bone meal and some ink sacs for Great Family, so he dropped this off in return. Sharpness 3 isn't the most spectacular thing in the world, but neither is bone meal and ink sacs. And Sharpness 3 is actually very, very much appreciated by me right now because I am in the process of building a little cache of swords, and I definitely could use the Sharpness 3 to combine with other Sharpness books that I have, and so I'm very, very thankful. And it is certainly more than the value of the ink sacs that he took, at least to me, in my own eyes. So I very much appreciate that. But let's move on. I have some things to show you that I have done. Excuse me. Got a froggy in my throat. I've actually been sick for quite a while, which is why let's turn this down a little bit. I've been sick for a little while, which is why I have not been uploading very regularly. So I have done some extra work in the meantime. I have this chicken farm up and running. I don't have any eggs to throw in there. What a waste. But yeah, I've got some chickens up here. I'm building the population a little bit, and I have a little toggle that's helping me do that when I wanted to, actually. This is also kind of interesting with the chest here. I can't leave until I put the wooden block back, and then I can leave perfectly fine. That's one of the many quirks. So yeah, if you throw this switch into the up position, if you turn it off, then you'll get all of the eggs in here, which I'm not going to demo for long. Just going to show you how it works down below. You turn the switch on, and you'll get whatever eggs happen to filter in, which I don't mind because I like having the eggs. I'll probably just leave it on. But you'll have all of most of the eggs will be sent to the chicken kill zone, and that will result in all of the raw chicken and feathers coming in. But let's go down and take a look real quick. I'm not proposing that this is anything spectacular. It's a very simple thing, but that's exactly what I needed it to be. A simple thing that fit in a tiny little area that did as much as I need it to with raw chicken. Let's just go ahead and turn this sound way down, because these chickens are vociferous. So basically, you have the chickens right above that block in front there. I'll go see if I can see around this side there. They're not. I can't see! Why? I got my eyes closed. There they are, right above here. And if you have this torch will be on if you power the switch above. If you turn the switch on, this torch will be on. And then that will prevent, generally, things from getting sucked in here. And the eggs will be then all routed, or most of them, into this dispenser. And when this dispenser receives something in its inventory, it will pulse through here, you can see there, and cause a chicken to be spawned in the area just below it, which is on top of a half slab. I will not show that because I do not want all the baby chicks running away. But if you've seen what I did at Zach's Chicken Shack, which I think was episode 3, a little bit chicken fried, you will see exactly what I'm doing there, except instead of having lava above, I have a solid block above, which actually creates some problems sometimes. Every once in a while I'll have feathers or lump of chicken will go flying, and yeah, it's not really important because I don't really care. I really don't care if everything goes in. If, in fact, you had the lava above it, you'd have about, I don't want to say half, but maybe a third or a quarter of the chicken and feathers and other drops will burn up in it. And it's really largely irrelevant when you're talking about automating something, although most of the time you want to get it really efficient. So yeah, this just activates the little hopper clock here, sends a pulse through, and there's a torch. If you can see it, you probably can't. Whoop. See it in my undies. There it is. Right in there. There's a redstone torch that will receive power, or not. It will receive, the power will go off and then come back on. So, basic thing the basic story, essence of what I'm trying to say here. The torch will turn off and then back on, or on and then back off. Let's see, go through there. It's going to do it again. No. Anyway, there we go. Yeah. The torch will turn on and back off and then send that pulse through. So, over here, we have the elevator. You can see it's flicking on and off whenever there's an item to be sent up. And that's relayed around here through to this little tower here, so that the items go up to the top. And then all this switch is doing is just activating some redstone down here to run to the torches. There's one torch underneath there, and there's another that actually... Oh, is there another? No, yeah, I think that I took that torch out because it'll power down here, and that's all I really needed. So, I know, terrible walkthrough tutorial. I'm not meaning for this to be a tutorial, just showing you around. If somebody wanted a tutorial, I'm sure they could find somebody that would do a better tutorial than I could do, but I would be happy to actually break it down. That goes with anything. If I'm showing it on here, I'm happy to break it down, but unless it's particularly complicated, I'm not really inclined to do that, because I'm probably just going to bore you to tears over something simple. So, any questions are very welcome and will be answered, no matter how simple or silly the question might be, because you got to start somewhere. And most of what I do is very simple. It's just very practical. And I'm not going to run 80 billion meters of track and redstone to do a simple tiny task. I'm not, pulling a mumbo-jumbo too simple tutorial thing here. If it works, it works. And I built this greenhouse over here. Moving on. Terrible segue there. And I built this greenhouse over here. Moving on. I've got a greenhouse that I put together a relatively simple design. And I like the way it turned out. It's something that I fiddled with a little bit in creative, and it looked nothing like this after I was done fiddling with it in creative. But I kind of grabbed some materials and went to town over here. And I didn't want to have an overhang on the roof because that didn't make any sense. I mean, as a roof goes, it makes sense, but we're trying to maximize the amount of sunlight that we utilize in this thing, because it's a greenhouse. And so we need as much open surface as possible, and that's exactly what we have here in general. But we also needed support beams, because, let's face it, an entire roof of glass with no support, I mean, that doesn't even happen in regular greenhouses, and I didn't want to do that in Minecraft just to kind of fudge it and make it happen. So I'm trying to make this more realistic with materials that are realistic for what we'd actually have here. So we've got basically a wooden log frame, spruce log specifically, and up top here, to add to the heat and lighting inside, we have a little solar panel that actually, if you open it up, there we go. Yeah, I've just got two redstone torches on either side to power the redstone lamps. But yeah, essentially we have a solar panel that is providing power on the inside. And down here, let me clear this out and open it up now. Ta-da! We are going to be doing some... I thought I cleared you out. Did snow manage to get in here from above? I mean, it's covered, so it shouldn't have. Maybe it did while I was working on something. But yeah, we're gonna till up some of this, and I'm gonna decide what kind of walkway pattern I'm gonna do. You know what? I think I've decided. Do I want to do gravel around? I don't think I want to do gravel around here. I want to do gravel around the outside. So yeah, let's put this dirt back. Derp-a-derp. Derp-a-dirt. Got that right? Yeah. Let's do gravel around the outside here. Because we need a little path of some sort of little humble path to get around in here without trampling crops. Not that the Minecraft mechanics will anymore cause that to be the case, which is somewhat disappointing. I kind of miss the whole problems of you have to think ahead and you have to be careful what you do around the crops because they're delicate little flowers. I don't miss it from a functional standpoint, believe me. I do not miss having to have a hoe handy with everything that I did with crops, because that was really annoying. But I kind of miss the whole realistic side of that. There we go. We got some gravel lined up here. And I think the light levels are okay in here. I think they are. I can't be sure. I can't state with any certainty, rather. I could be sure. I could actually go through here and make you watch me check light levels. But that's boring as all hell. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to get right to work here. Let's go ahead and get some pumpkin seeds and melon seeds. I'm going to do some pumpkins on one side. Doop, 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 doop. Let's do 3 melons. Yeah, I'll keep it even. Did it actually? It did actually. It killed my seed. Which sounds terrible. But, excuse me. Breath fog. Gonna have some wheat in here and get some pumpkins and melons growing. And I hope they don't grow back over the path. If they do, they do. But let's go ahead and get this going. And what I want to do on the sides here, bring it over here, I want to have plants from different areas all over the place. And I need more pots. I've got some more bricks in the oven. Probably done by now. But I want to put them on display, and I might do other things. I certainly have trees that I can put in there just to decorate, because we've got this... What in the... It's been doing this a lot lately. Little visual glitches where I'll put something down like a bed and half the bed is missing. Which you don't want to lie down in a bed if you're not sure that it's all there. In real life, at least. In Minecraft, you can kind of trust it. So let's see. I want to plant some other things too. I'll decide what kind of ratio I want to work with. But I want to have wheat as a nice, healthy backing through here. And I'll probably do some carrots on one side and taters on the other. Not sure, though, how far. Maybe I'll just do a couple rows here. I might just take these back out. Yeah, I think I'll take these back out. So yeah, we'll do that another time. Yeah, there we go. Some nice melon action here. So that's the general idea, and this should be lit up well enough to keep anything from spawning. Don't have any guarantees that nothing's going to go in there, though. But I think I've pretty much taken care of that. I had some extra time while I was sick, and there was some particularly late weekend night that wifey was watching some YouTube clips from Britain's Got Talent and X Factor and all sorts of talent crap like that. And so I was working on the wall here, and I've got the basic template out. If you can see here, it's kind of a graduation of different material types. You'll see there's some more degradation over here with the cobblestone versus the original wall, the bricks. And then there's a new section of wall put in with wood that was available. And then there's a graduation as the wall decays a little bit. You see this a section of wall that's going to need to be replaced soon. And then there's some leftover wall over there from before. And then it kind of follows that pattern. Whoop! Follows that pattern right into the ditch! And just give you a little run through here. I actually haven't added any of the detail to this. I mean, there are some sections. If you look over here, still have some of the decrepification. Decrepification. Got leftover over here. I reworked this section. Still have Pinocchio snow up there. But yeah, you can see what I'm going for, and this is going to be more consistent. The actual decay and, well, decrepification. Decrepification of the wall in different places. And it's going to be more prominent in cobblestone and spruce wood sections. And that's how we're going to reflect that in general. And I'm kind of sticking with, for the roofs and other structures in here, I'm going to go with a modeling of the wood. I think that's working out nicely. I think I like the way that is coming together, at least the way it's come together so far. But for things like the greenhouse, it's going to have to stay in pretty good repair, because that's where the citizens of Chinopolis are going to get their food from. So I'm going to keep those relatively clean, and any technology that we've managed to harvest. Yeah, that is snow up there. Okay. Thought there was snow on glass for a second. I forgot I had the beams exposed up there. The technology that we've managed to preserve is going to be utilized in the more essential structures. For instance, we do have some technological applications over here in the farms, like the chicken farm, but that's mostly behind the scenes. The technology with the solar panel up there, that is very open for all to see, because that is our horticultural area, our hydroponics greenhouse, and that is essential to not only cultivating the food that we need, but it's also important as far as preserving what greenery and life we actually have been able to salvage. So, moving on from the boring stuff. Anyway, actually, I do have one more thing, at least, that I want to do today. And that's, we need some place for power relays and radio communications. Do I have? Yes, I do have the droppers. Nice. So I want to do that over here simply because it's relatively high ground, and I need to do some more terraforming, cleaning up over here. But I think at least I'm going to be satisfied with keeping this over here. Excuse me. So I want to put up a solar panel, maybe more, but I'm going to start with one solar panel and see how it works out. Let's put the solar panel right back here. What's going on over here? Yeah, this should be nice and sturdy. We'll put it right here. I want to put it down one. I think I'm going to leave most of this up. Yeah, let me just put that dirt back. Let me put the derpa. Oop, nope. Let me give it a foundation too first. There's my pick. This pick is my infinite pick, by the way. It's the trading enchant pick. So as long as that pick's still there, it'll allow me to keep repairing this by simply trading for a few diamonds. Did I just hear something sneaking up on me? I don't think anything can get through now that I've got the wall up, but you never know. Let's give it a nice solid foundation to start with there, and then we will ride it on up. See about there. Let's bring it up one more. Yeah. Alright, so let's bring panel out here. And I think we need a 3x3 based on what I've actually got here. Let's see how that works out, and then I will move on. I'm probably... Actually, no, I'm pretty darn sure I'm going to expand it, because I don't like just having the 3x3. I mean, this is just tiny, but let's go take a look. Yeah. I'm going to expand that, but it's going to be fine for now. That's the general idea of what I'm going for the solar panels, which are a little bit of a challenge, because generally you want solar panels to be at an angle, and you can angle them through the day to follow the sun to max. But we've got limited resources here. That's at least going to catch a significant portion of the sun, and we're just going to have to make do. So let's set up. We need some place to process the power that's coming in. I'm going to have to dig down underneath for a little bit. So we want them... We'll put them next to it. Yeah, let's just dig down and see how it turns out. I think I'm going to put them here. Doop. And we'll need something up there to catch it. Alright. Doop, doop. Go down a little bit more here. Make sure we can get them facing the right way. I think these are going to work out really nice as a little power generator processing thingamadoodle. Right? There we go. Can't see! Let's close this back up. Don't want anything down here. Just use some dirt. Got plenty of dirt, especially after doing all the terraforming. And I might raise that up one more. Put one more level of them in there. Yeah, I'm probably going to add one more level to this. But you know, it might actually work out pretty nice. I might add one more level or take two of these out. Either way. And then around here, I am going to put our... I did not bring those darn things. Well, let me mark it out with dirt. Put it starting here. I'm going to put our little radio communications building. Might make it a little bigger, obviously. All things subject to change, as always. Especially with me, I'm never happy with anything. It's like, oh, man, that reminds me of the video that my wife was watching on YouTube. The primary video. This one took a long time. There was like a lot of sections. It was a documentary on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the guy and his wife who cheated the system, they actually had, at some point, you know, in the second day of the recording, they had hired somebody to sit in the audience and cough at the right answers. So the guy spent the entire time, he wasn't sure of anything, the guy would cough and he would be sure of something. And it got worse as they went on, as they got more confident they weren't going to be caught. So, yeah, I'm going to use stone bricks in here for this building, and I think I'm going to bring it over one more. Let me just mark this off on this side here. Yeah, and so they managed to get all the way through to the $1 million question and get it right, and pretty much everybody that was paying real close attention in the studio knew something was funky, that there was no way that this guy could be uncertain about everything, list off all of the answers, you know, give every single possible tell that he could, essentially. The stupidest kind of tell process. Where are my stone bricks? There they are. And managed to answer the questions correctly, of course. And when their system actually failed the first day, and he was just completely sucking it up. He was just completely destroyed by the questions. There were like 3 in a row he pretty much could not answer, and had to use lifelines for some of the what should have been very easy questions for a contestant that was going to move on and get the $1 million, or well, £1 million. Big difference, especially lately. So they were pretty darn sure that this guy was cheating, but they could not figure out how he was doing it. And it wasn't until they actually, isolated the sound in the studio that they really noticed the prominence of how accurately, the coughing of the hired help was. And in the meantime, they're back there, they're practically in a cold sweat in the back of the studio knowing that something was terribly wrong, but having no idea how to prove it or how to catch the guy. And so they just, kept going. And they had no choice but to keep going, because you can't, just on a gut instinct say, oh, sorry, we're going to cancel the recording of our highly watched, highly appreciated television show here. And, yeah, so sorry, but you're not going to get to see the guy win. And you're just going to have to, deal with the fact that he's cheating, and you're going to have to take our word for it. Because, their ratings would just plummet because of that, because they'd basically be calling somebody a cheater with no evidence. So they just had to keep going. And that really must have been an awful position to be in. Let me go back and grab some slabs here. I put in a little door, which is just very, very temporary. Kind of dressed it up a little bit, but not really much of anything to speak of, obviously. Grab these. And this may be enough. Let's just make some more, just in case. I'm sure I'll find another use for them. That'll definitely be enough. So yeah, come on. There we go. They eventually caught the guy. They eventually, analyzed the sound from the studio, realized that the coughs from this person that they had hired to help were too well timed to be a coincidence, and this guy had no clue. Just a complete... I'm not going to be too mean. He did cheat, but I'm not going to start calling him names other than dirty cheater. But he clearly had no idea what he was doing, and still managed to get the right answers all the time. And so, with being that these people do this all the time, they can pretty much tell who's gonna do well, who's not gonna do well, and predict, what the outcome is gonna be. And so they knew something was up, and they were finally able to nail down that this person was helping them. Because the entire time of the recording, they're focused on his wife, who had been on there before, and trying to make sure, because his brother-in-law had tried to help cheat the first day, and that didn't go well, because eventually they made him leave because they caught him doing suspicious things. So that's how he got into so much trouble the first day, the contestant cheater guy, because his source of answers was made to leave the premises. So he was just completely screwed at that point. And he used two of his lifelines on easy questions, and yeah, they had no idea how he was pulling it off from there. But eventually, after examining his wife's interactions with him, the actions of this guy who seemed to suddenly be coughing all the time, at just the right times, and analyzing their behavior during and after, they were able to prove that he was actually cheating, and get them arrested and prevent them paying out all that money for nothing, basically, for somebody cheating the system. And it was a very, very interesting story to go through as I was building the wall. Why do I have seeds in here? Man, I am really starting to get disorganized in this room. But I do want to show you one more thing before we go. now that I've talked your ear off over something you probably don't care about. The trading actually has been coming along very, very wonderfully. I still, unfortunately, don't have a pick for a pick trade from the blacksmith, which is kind of annoying. But at the very least, when I do get the pick trade, I'm going to have a ton of picks just trying to unlock the next one. The chicken has helped out tremendously. Also, I did unlock the beef trade over here. There it is, currently unlocked. And of course, having the little bread maker machine over near the skeleton farm, the endless supply of bones, has helped with wheat. And of course, there's the chicken, chicky, and wool. Having the sheep over here to shear, since the wool the trade doesn't care what color the wool is as long as it stacks to 15. Which means I have to dye one of them white again soon because this is bugging me. I may just throw them in the chest upstairs and use them for something else. I'm certainly going to need some wool soon. I need to, for the big reveal of who our Commander-in-Chief is going to be, I am going to be doing some pixel art because we want to honor our Commander-in-Chief with not only a flag, but also a nice big portrait. Don't worry, it'll make sense, and I'm gonna do what I can to make it to avoid it being tacky. But my heart is set on doing this, so expect sometime before too much longer. Infinite sword. I'm actually using the enchantment from before that was refreshed to include nice looting. Been tempted to renew it anyway, but I am going to do what I can to avoid making it tacky, and at the very least it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So that is all for today. I am going to take a hop back up here and take a look around, see how things are coming together. Got one solar panel over there. I might add a couple more. I just don't want to make it look too crowded. Oh, I meant to put a little fishing shanty out here for some ice fishing, but I guess since 1.7 isn't out yet, I've got a little bit of time. We haven't updated to 1.6.3. What was that? Somebody over here? Maybe not. We haven't updated to 1.6.3 yet. We probably will do that soon when it's actually released. And then maybe we'll start doing some 1.7ifications around here, preparing for those wonderful, magnificent, huge portals and kind of odd-shaped portals. You can make one look just by widening this one block, which I kind of considering that being what I do with it. It will make it look more circular, and I can have a Stargate kind of, which makes no sense whatsoever over here. But I have always wanted a circular portal, and that's going to be as close as you can really get with this and with the new update and everything, and it's going to be wonderful in and of itself. It would obviously be nicer to be able to do it in a more round fashion, but I'm going to have to find some way to make that work around here, even though it's going to be kind of like our little secret Stargate reference. But I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to make the portal 3x3x3x3 and live with that. That'll be my little perk just for me. And we also need to add in some place for our little mayoral office. I might do that on top here. I don't know, that's not going to really work out very well, but I'll find a spot for that, and I've got some more terraforming to do. But I think it's about time that we head back to Spawn Village and finish up at least the functionality, if not the aesthetics, of that shooting gallery I'm working on over there. So I am all but guaranteeing you that next episode will be a lot more redstone, and we will be fleshing out that shooting gallery. I have supplies ready for decoration, and I am ready to go and raring to go on that, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing that. Either that or I'm, going to be sidetracked by something, but hopefully not. So I will see you back at Spawn Village next time. I hope. And until then, take care and have a blast.